Hello everybody and welcome back to An Art Life Worth Living. So today we are doing a sketchbook tour. Now I currently have 3 sketchbooks. I'm not going to include my digital art just because I kind of just want to share the stuff that you guys haven't already seen. Practically everything in my iPad is just art that's for videos, so you've seen it all if you've looked through my channel. But some of this art's from 2019, but there wasn't much from there, so I just kind of wanted to start off there. This was a picture that I did. I bought this sketchbook, and I call it my Motivation Sketchbook, because in this sketchbook, I only really was allowed to use pen. Towards the end, I kind of broke that for one project, but that ended up not working out, so giving myself this deadline of only working with, not really deadline, but this challenge of only working with pen, it really taught me to be a lot more loose with my art, not to sketch really hard and make sure I do it really lightly and then go in with details. This was probably the best picture I've done in all pen. I don't know how I achieved this, but I want to achieve a level of consistency like I did with this picture here. I also want to say sorry if you guys are hearing that background noise. My dishwasher is currently going and it's a bit loud, so I feel like you might be hearing that in the background, but that's okay. Let's move on to the next part. So this was a picture of Maleficent. I was really excited about Maleficent 2, and I wanted to challenge myself to draw someone like Maleficent, and it didn't really turn out how I wanted it to, but I still think it is a great piece of art. I never really finished it either. It looks good, it's just not Maleficent. So this was a sketch of body practice. I was trying to, one, be excited for summertime, and I just wanted to practice really nailing the torso and the hips, and I think I did a really good job, especially for only having pen, which means my mistakes were seen. Then I also tried to do it from a different angle and with like a little thicker of a girl, but it didn't really end up getting finished because I do that a lot, and you'll learn soon that I start a lot of art and I never finish it. It's a bad habit of mine. I need to stop it. Now here is one of my favorite pieces out of this entire piece. Probably entitled just. This is my favorite piece out of all of the sketchbook. This was a dress back when I was working at Nordstrom's, and I saw this dress, guys. This dress was silver, and in the light it would sparkle blue. It literally was like a Cinderella dress, but a meshy Cinderella dress. You know, it's a little meshy, as Kelly Stamps would say. And I did a rough sketch of it on this small piece of paper, just so when I got home I could put it on a character. I just kind of did a quick concept art of the dress. The back is completely open. It is held in by you tying it up, and then the front has these really nice inseams, and it's just very fitted to the body. I also decided to pair it with this like chunky heel. I thought that would be cute. But yeah, that's kind of what this piece was. It was really exciting and I really loved it. So this piece I actually did when I was working at Pizza Hut. I was just on a break, relaxing, and I would try to sketch on my breaks to give myself like a deadline. I really, really enjoy the way her turtleneck came out. Like, she's like got her shoulder forward, so it almost looks seamless. And the only downside is I think she kind of had her head put out, and I think I didn't get the anatomy correct, but by the time I noticed that, it was in pen, so I kind of just had to work with what I had, and I still think it turned out pretty well. This was also at Pizza Hut. I did a quick sketch of Fred. He was the pizza guy I came up with. Once again, I am terrible at finishing a sketchbook page. I was just working on 3/4 profiles. They came out bad. No one always makes good art, guys. Now this page, I created that little cutie, which was me working on my cartoon style, and then it was also for a thumbnail for a video. Then I did some sketches of some action poses because I kind of wanted to work on creating more dynamic with my art. In my cartoon style, I feel like I get very good dynamic lines, but in my more realistic style, it's not quite there yet. This is just Eye Patch Man. There's nothing more to say about him. Just practicing drawing, guys. Now, here was a big challenge for myself. I was actually challenging myself to work on concept art, so kind of drawing from description. My brother gave me a description of one of his characters in his movie Neutropia, and he said I did a pretty good job on it. The leg is a lot disproportionate, but in terms of the concept of her character, I think it came out extremely well. Here was some body practice. I was trying to sketch from mind, and I wasn't quite understanding human anatomy quite enough to draw it without a reference. But again, I was doing it in pen, so. Now, here was another sketch of Ramona, the last character, but just in a different angle. I was trying to do it in a more action pose because I think she's like a princess or something. I think it came out really nice the way that pose was drawn. Now, here is the start of this year. This was the first page that I did when I got back into art in like September, October. I was just kind of doodling on top of a page that had a really ugly face on it, and I actually think for not drawing for over a year, it was doing pretty well. I actually created that character you see a couple of times, Sarah. I was really excited to actually kind of design my own character because I know as a kid I always wanted to do that and I was never good at it. So I have a bunch of notes on this page. This is Sarah. I kind of gave her a little outfit, and then the bottom left corner is my favorite. She looks absolutely adorable, and I'm starting to kind of find my own style that's unique to me. And yeah, I'm excited to draw more pictures of her, so look out for that. And yeah, I like her little gemstone. She has the power of healing, so 2020 needed a healer. Here I was sketching some hands. Unfortunately, I didn't end up filling up the whole page, but I always try to stop being scared of hard references, which is that hand holding the spray bottle. If you guys really want to improve in art, challenge yourself to do something that you're scared to do. Hands are scary for almost everyone, and I've kind of gotten a really good way of how to draw hands. I will definitely be bringing a tutorial to you guys maybe next week, maybe the week after that. I have a lot of videos lined up, and I'm excited for you guys to see how I draw hands because it will change the game drastically. Here is another like character creation page. I actually created a few characters here. I have Evan, who's the businessman on the bottom. He's very stern and serious. Then I have Jack, he's the one making all the funny expressions. I've got Sam up there, he's the shy one. And then I've got Miles, who's like the really cool one who smokes a cigarette because he thinks he's the coolest guy in the world, even though he's not. I was really trying to practice understanding my cartoon style and figuring out how to mesh my love for realism, but also mesh my love for cartoons, so it helps me understand what to exaggerate and what to not, and what to simplify. So that has been a really fun adventure. I think maybe one day I might come out with a comic book. Who knows? I also came up with a few girls because I do want to practice drawing guys, but I also wanted to create some girl characters to go right along with them. We've got Ashley, Melanie, Sasha, and Alex. Sasha's the curly-haired one. Melanie's the one that looks like a weirdo. Ashley's the more stern, serious one, and Alex is the really fun one with the earrings. Here is my concept page for Inktober. I was practicing drawing some different bodies in different poses, trying to figure out what I wanted to go with for my actual Inktober. It's always really nice to thumbnail. I really like that bottom one. It was like she was almost on the ocean floor, and I was thinking of having, the fishes in the air bubbles. and seaweed floating around her, but I'm not quite confident on making full illustrations yet. I am definitely working on that, and I'm excited for you guys to see more soon. Here we had Wisp. What I saw as the description was Wisp was like a wisp of smoke. So I kind of created this cartoon character, and she's a wisp of smoke. It was very fun to draw. I thoroughly enjoyed it. She was drawn in all pins, so again, I love the expression that I created in these faces lately. Never been something that I was too good at. I always kind of had the same face syndrome, but lately I've been getting a lot better with that. Here, the word for Inktober was bulky. I actually really like how the top one came out. She really looks like a bride, which I love that dress, the embroidery detail I added. Like that was just something that really spoke to me. I can't wait to be a bride one day. And then my best friend, she's very goofy and very fun, and so I thought I'd draw a more fun pose on the bottom, and it just really reminds me of my best friend. I love her so much. She would definitely be my maid of honor, and if there was anyone, it would be her to pose in such a silly way on my wedding day. So yeah, I did bulky wedding dresses. Very big, very poofy ball gowns. I can't speak today. Okay, so I think this one, the word was radio, maybe. But I drew a radio lady, super sexy. But since her head is like a beatbox radio, I wanted to have a bat because she can beat people with the bat. It was a weird concept. I didn't turn it into a big piece, but I really do love how that came out. This was just me sketching my Copics. I was moving into making some more videos for you guys, and I was going to use them, so I made a color key for that. Though a lot of my skin tones dried up. And then I have Evan. I actually turned Evan into an Among Us characters. I did Evan, Jack, and Miles. I wanted to create a few of them. The goal was for you guys to figure out who the killer was, and clearly it is Evan. He has the blood splattered on his helmet and on his hands. I think the dynamic pose came out amazing. I definitely want to get into doing these types of colorful pops of art more. I also worked on a little bit of color theory with these, and I've been using, the opposite of the spectrum, so yellow and blue. And then here with Miles, I just did a red. His persona is he's too cool, and he's just like very mean and stern, so he's accusing Evan of being suspicious. So it was kind of like a whole story thing. I have those videos. You guys can check them out if you want to. They were very fun to make, and I think the artwork came out very good for coloring with markers, even though I hadn't done that in a really long time. Here I was actually doing a quick challenge. It was just like you get like 4 or 5 words and you have to draw a picture from it. So I drew Bill. Bill is he's smart, he's like scientific and a geek, so that's what I came up with. Here is Jack. I actually changed up Jack's design. I wanted him to have a bit more crazy hair to fit his personality than the upkept do that I did. Again, working on color theory, I did blue and orange, and they actually complement each other very well. I love how this piece came out, and I definitely can't wait to get refills for my Copics so I can bring more colorful art to you guys. I definitely would recommend checking out that video because it was pretty cool how I came up with that concept and how I got it to look so nice. So this is the last page on this sketchbook that I completed. It was a runner-up for the Halloween special. It was a witch in her cauldron. She's relaxing and sleeping and just doing her little beauty bath, I guess you would say. So she's covered completely in like a black mud, and then she's in like orange goop, and she's got cucumbers on her eyes to be fun. I actually really like how this came out. I had to definitely come up with this pose on my own, and so I had to think about how the human anatomy works. But these are my loose pieces of paper. This was just a drawing I did. I wanted to kind of include plant life a little bit more, and I was trying to get more into grounding my characters on the page. But this one I had to attempt 3 times. I did this one in color pencil, and then I did that because this was my original sketch, right? So I sketched it with my new Cool Erase pencils. I was super excited to use them, and I thought that this came out amazing. So I decided to pull out my markers, and this happened. I was doing the light skin toned, but the marker completely dried up. So I had to try to do a darker skin tone, and then that marker was really dried up. I love the way the hair came out and the leaves came out gorgeous, but I had to just restart it and do it with color pencil, which was kind of sad, but I think the color pencil came out really well. I was so grateful that I had a 72 set of Prismacolors that I've been just having forever and never using. So not only did I have to use color pencils to finish and complete this, but I also had to use something I'm not really used to using. But I kind of like how the marker leaves came out a little more, but the colored pencil leaves are actually really nice as well. Now this was a really fun challenge I did. The challenge of this was turning pets into characters. And I actually have a small version of this sketch on a loose piece of paper, and it came out so good. It looks so dynamic and it looks so freeing. I don't know how to describe it, but the 2 pets that I chose was both of my friends' pets. I love them very dearly, especially Penny. But Penny's the one holding the dog bone and the cat toy. And then Kiwi is my friend's kitty. She's very out there and she's like very sassy. So I wanted to make her character sassy. And then Penny, she's very timid and shy. Even though she loves me to death, for some reason, whenever I go to leave, she'll always just sit over there and duck her head down and be all sad that I'm going, and it's so hard to leave her. But I think that these 2 characters it's just such a dynamic duo, and it matches their personalities to a T, and it even matches their color scheme. Kiwi is orange, black, and white, orange, brown, and white, and then Penny is white, gray, and black. So I absolutely loved how these came out. It was a really long time since I've drawn something so full and finished. So I really loved how it came out. And if you guys want to check out that video, I definitely have a video on that as well. I'll link it down below. Now this was what became the Halloween special. I don't know if any of you guys here watch Corey X Kenshin, but I do, and he has this thing called Spooky Scary Sunday. Even though Halloween was on a Saturday, I did a Spooky Scary Sunday themed video, and I chose this pose. And I actually had gotten the Hekala art box, and I used that, so I had to mix everything on my own, and I really love how this piece came out. My boyfriend actually likes to keep it on the fridge. It's very adorable of him. He is a dad, a literal dad. So I used the gum stuff to protect the moon area, but I think I put it on too thin, so it tore up the paper, because I found if I put it down thicker, the lines would be better. I also didn't let the paper dry, so the highlights on the hand kind of got messed up. But overall, I think this came out amazing. It felt so good to be back in my territory of watercolors. Definitely expect more videos. I have a Christmas special coming. It's coming after Christmas because I don't know how to meet deadlines, but it will come this year. It's going to be a watercolor of me doing ornaments. It's going to be exciting. So here we are moving on to my other sketchbook because I don't know how to dedicate myself to one. The first page is blank because I like to do a full illustration there. But you guys might be familiar with this one. This one was for a video. It was just kind of drawing faces in real time, taking you guys through my process on how I come up, how I draw from reference also. That's also in there because I keep the reference up. So if you guys do want to learn how to draw these faces and actually draw them in real time with me, that video is there. Definitely let me know if you guys like more of that. But this was some more body practice. I kind of felt like I lost a little bit of my anatomy, so I wanted to practice, and I've kind of learned looking at art after you've drawn it after a while, like it seems like it looks a whole lot better than when you first finish it. This is when I was using the Jazzy art game. I don't know, but it was just kind of a copy that practice. I gave myself 5 minutes for these things because I was just trying to warm up my arm for another piece that I was working on, and I like to do little doodles. So here was another one. It was just of a person. She had like this big furry coat on, and I really didn't get time to add any details, but it was just for practice. Now this monstrosity was part of the character design. The baby, what's supposed to be a baby, it was a zombie baby that grew wings from making balloon animals. The weirdest thing ever. Only Jazza will come up with something like that, but it was a really fun concept to create. And then the other one on the bottom, the character for that was drawing a businessman that is very serious and stern all the time, but he always wears a spacesuit. So I thought it'd be really fun to make his collar for the glass bulb to be a collar and tie. Now here I was just warming up and getting some fluid sketches down, working on poses, trying out different methods of building a character. We did the oval, the square, and then I kind of did blocking in. I kind of like the block in way, even though it's a little messy. And then I was working on just another body pose. This one I challenged myself. It was just like a picture of someone's clothes, but I was trying to draw the body underneath the clothes, and it was just shoulders down, so I had to create the head myself, which I think the pose is a little stiff, could have been more fluid, but I think it came out pretty well just for a practice sketch nonetheless. So now moving on to my smaller sketchbook. This is the one that I bring to work with me all the time. This is my traveling sketchbook, and this one's got a lot of artwork in it. So this was from a video that I drawn. You guys probably have noticed. It was done in all pen, of course, and this was for the kind of how to find your style video, and then I also did a finished version of that Inktober piece that I did the other sketches in. Her back came out a little too far, but it was too late for me to fix it, so I just kind of ran with it. I could have accommodated it by extending the leg back more, but nonetheless I still think it came out extremely well. And then here I did the final piece on the wisp. It looks really clean. I really love the emotion she's showing. That was probably my favorite part of this piece, was the emotion. And then here, this was the maid of honor. I made her the actual bride because it's about time she got married herself, and she's still just as loving and fun as ever. The pose was also extremely fun, and then the gathering of the fabric. This was actually a request from one of my old coworkers. He's a Libra, and he wanted me to design a character based on that. And I looked up the character traits for them, and apparently they're very elegant, they dress really nice, and then I used the symbol for the point. Like, they're supposed to be very balanced, so I thought having the law thing would be really nice. This was just a sketch I saw, a sketch I drew when I saw a picture of someone on Pinterest. I wish I would have raised the cheek a little more, just because her hand was resting on her face was resting on her hand. But that's okay. I still think it came out really good. I love the hair and just everything. The hand came out well, but it came out good. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this sketchbook has a theme of color. I got color erase pencils, and so it goes blue, and then it goes purple, and it kind of just moves through the spectrum. This was a girl with buns. I love how it came out, super nice. Not much to say about it. Now, this one I was trying to dabble in making backgrounds. Now, the story behind her is she's a mistress. She leads men on, and then who like take advantage of women, and then she would bring them to the woods and then kill them. Very sinister, but I love her outfit, I love the background, and I also never drew a gun before. This one was some more anatomy practice. She's a pole dancer, so it's kind of like the view of someone from sitting in front. As weird as that is, she's holding on to the pole, leaning forward, the camera's tilted, her head's back. I think it came out really nice. I did put clothes on her because I think it's necessary. But I really love the way her hair came out. I really just enjoy this piece overall. Now, unfortunately, you guys really can't see this very well. I tried to show you, but this is actually a picture of Sam, my character, in his more realistic form. He scratched it down. I was just doing anatomy practice. You will never be able to see it no matter how much I try to get that camera to focus because it's yellow, but I promise in real life you can see it and it does look really nice. If you actually check out my Instagram, I made it visible there. I kind of tweaked the image so it was dark enough. So definitely check out my Instagram. It's in the description down below. And go follow me there. So this was actually one of the runner-ups for the Inktober special. This one was him in like a king form. This was just me practicing some faces. I think they came out really cute. I'm kind of like in love with seeing my own art. It's like when I am currently drawing the piece, I don't think it looks that nice. I don't think it looks that good. And then I move on, I draw more pictures, and I come back and I look at it and I'm like, this was really good. So really, you guys have to, sometimes when you feel like you're not doing a really good job, you should take a step back, which is kind of what this shows. Here, I wanted to show my friends, one, how to draw their favorite characters, so I just did some quick headshots of them. But the biggest thing I've learned is that I really have developed my own style, and I can take a character and make it look like that character, but in my own way. And that's something that I never thought I would have, that unique style. I don't think there's anyone who draws like me. There's never anyone who draws exactly like someone else. So I really loved how these came out. And then I also dabbled in highlighters, let me tell you. I was practicing profile and trying to draw a character and making her look the same in both pictures, but I was like, I'm gonna color the hair with the highlighter orange since I was using the orange color pencil, and oh my freaking god, I love how that came out. She looks stunning. Like, if anyone dyed their hair this bright orange, they look beautiful. But here I did a quick sketch of a grandma, and then I also wanted to kind of sketch out a curvier girl because I feel like I never really drew them very much. And I know like my friends, they're self-conscious because I have a little bit of a belly, and I just wanted to kind of show them that you're beautiful at any size you are. And this is what my best friend looks like, and she's just absolutely beautiful, and I wish I could just make her believe that herself, but she'll get there one day. And yeah, so here was just some more anatomy practice. With the person who's standing, I actually only had the bottom half of the legs because I was practicing legs. And then I drew the torso and the rest of it from my own head. And I'm just kind of trying to start small at creating poses without having a reference. So I had the reference for the legs. I did not have the reference for the torso. And so my next thing that I'm going to be trying, because I sketched that a couple days ago, is I'm going to try to sketch only part of a reference, so like maybe just the torso, and then try to create a body, create legs for the torso. So I think that'll be fun. It's a really fun challenge for myself, and it also just helps me use my anatomy. This was me sketching some more hands, and you can kind of get a little glimpse at how I've been drawing hands, and I really can't wait for you guys to see how I figured out drawing hands. Like, I am so excited for you guys to see this. I can't wait to come out with this tutorial. Now we have a how to draw heads, and we're gonna have how to draw hands, and then when I fully can understand the bodies and figure out the best way to teach you guys that, we will get that video out too. So if you guys want to subscribe to my channel and really grow with me, this is the channel to do so. I want to create videos that showcases I have to learn these things just as much as you do, and I want to create videos that make it so much simpler for you guys to learn how to draw art. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later. Bye!